Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the basics of flight mechanics of a quadcopter. This is to help you understand when you fly FPV Acro. So basically, your quad is made up of a frame, flight control board, and the motors, and everything has to be balanced through a center of gravity. So if you don't have the propellers are not spinning, this one obviously cannot lift up. So let's say you put a rubber band there and the propellers are not spinning. You can see that the quad doesn't balance itself. So what the flight controller does is it makes the propellers spin, all the four propellers spin in such a way that they balance out each other and your quad can hover. This is where the PIDs come in. So the PIDs make sure that if you want to hover your quadcopter, all the propellers are spinning at a different rate, but then they spin in such a way that it makes your quad hover. So if you want to move your quad to the right by rolling to the right, the PIDs will make sure that your quad stays like that. So you will continue to go at that angle to the right. Same thing applies if you want to roll to the left. And also it also applies when you pitch to the front, you will continue to move like that, or you pitch to the back, it continues to move like that. So basically, if you got your PIDs tuned properly, the quad will behave according to the inputs that you made to your transmitter. So it goes that, make sure that it stays there like that, and it goes like to the left, to the right, front and the back. And when you yaw your quad, it doesn't move the quad left or right, so it basically spins the quad in an axis. So that's why when you spin your quad, it doesn't affect the flight characteristic because you don't move it. So it's basically hovering and you spin. So when you say, for example, when you pitch forward with your Acro quad, it will continue to move forward, and because the thrust is not down anymore, you sacrifice a bit of down thrust, so it will continue to go forward, but then you're going to lose altitude. So you compensate that by pushing your throttle up a bit so that you make it go consistent. So you need to keep on adjusting it. So if you fly in simulator, all you need to do is just push your throttle up a bit more, so it will go consistent according to how you adjust it. But if in real life, because the battery power keeps depleting, you have to push a bit further up. So that's why when you pitch or you roll, it's going to lose altitude. So you need to control that with your throttle. And also, let's take it to the extreme. Let's say you put it vertically like this. There's no thrust going downwards now. It's going to crash eventually. So that's why when you pitch forward, you have to have a certain angle that it still has some kind of thrust down, and you can still go forward. So going back to the basics, your controller basically helps you to balance this quad. So your pitch and roll controller, the stick, will help you. If this one goes a bit to the left or to the right, you just switch it accordingly. So your left, right, forward, backwards will help you balance this quad. The yaw doesn't do anything. The throttle helps you push it up and down. So you're like balancing an egg or this quad as it moves along. So that's why you have to get very used to balancing your quad using your pitch and roll stick and also your throttle. And the way to learn that is by continuing to learn on the FPV simulator, because there's no way that you are ever going to learn all the basics of acro flying FPV without crashing, because every time you learn a new maneuver you're going to crash. So the best thing to do is to practice in a simulator to help you with your muscles memory, so that you're going to do it even without thinking. Because if you think or overthink too much, you're going to crash. So the best thing to do is to make it subconscious. So that's why simulator is very, very important. So just to sum up how your quad moves, is the propeller with proper tuning, the PIDs, it will hover according to your instruction. It will pitch forward and stays there, pitch backward stays there, or roll left, right stays there according to your instructions through your transmitter. So that's why the transmitter is very important. If you look at the transmitter sticks, the pitch and roll sticks is right in the middle, and you don't move it too much to the right, to the left, or forward and backwards when you fly in acro, because you're going to move it at a drastic angle and no one's going to help you to balance it up like in stabilized mode. Let's go back to the quad. In stabilized mode, when you will always try to go back to horizontal stabilized position. So when you say roll to the right, you have to keep the stick according to the angle that you want to move, and you have to keep it there, because the 6G mode will help you stabilize it, and then you just go to the right like that. So that's why with stabilized mode, the sticks track the motion accordingly. If you let go of the stick, it goes back. So in stabilized mode, you need to push your stick according to the angle that you want to move. So that's why you have to push it according to the length of the stick and according to how far you want to move to the right, because when you release it, you will go back to horizontal, hovering. So, but in acro mode, if you move slightly, it will stay there, it will continue to move. So if you want to move a bit in a bigger angle, if you say, for example, if you want to roll to the right a little bit, you roll to the right, and then you just move your stick slightly to the right, and then you let go, and you notice that this quad will stay there even if you let go of the stick, and the stick springs back to the original position in the middle. So if you want to move your quad back, you just have to move the stick to the left a little bit and let it go, and the quad will go back. So in FPV Acro mode, basically you need to keep your stick right in the middle with slight adjustment only. So you make slight adjustment, goes to the right, and then you want to make it go back, make slight adjustment, it goes back. So when you go forward, make a slight adjustment, it goes forward, it will stay there if you let go of the stick. If you want to pitch it back, push it back, you let it go, you go back like that. So it is very important that when you fly FPV Acro or Acro mode, you keep your sticks movement very little in the middle, and you control your flight also with your throttle by making sure that the quad stays in the position that you want it to stay, because if you want to hover, you adjust your throttle accordingly, so you hover like that. But if you go to the right, because it keeps on losing at the altitude, you need to push your throttle up a bit so that it maintains the altitude. So the throttle is really to help you maintain altitude and also the speed. So when you pitch forward and you want to move at a faster rate, you have to adjust your throttle sticks accordingly, and also sometimes the pitch, because if you pitch a little bit and you push the throttle a bit hard, you go up. So if you pitch it a bit forward and you throttle a bit hard, maybe you will go straighter. So it depends on the angle and the throttle to make you go forward according to a straight line, according to the direction that you want. So if you want to move forward, there's few things that you need to know. Is that if you want at a consistent height, say for example you keep your throttle in the middle, you can actually use the pitch control to pitch forward and backwards, so that you change the angle and it will slow down, move forward, slow down, move forward, and it will go at a consistent height and at a constant speed. But if you say you want the quad to go at a higher speed, you can push your throttle higher and then keep it there. If you want a constant speed, then you can adjust the speed, the forward flight using the angle of the pitch. So that's how you can make it constant speed if you're flying forward. And there's other things that I think is too much for this one video, and just remember that this is just an introduction to the controller. I just want to make sure that you understand that when you fly acro, whether FPV or line of sight, you need to balance using the pitch and roll at using very slight movement, and using the throttle to also control the height. The yaw doesn't do anything except to make a turn. So with the acro flight of your quadcopter, always remember that you are the 6G operator, so you are trying to stabilize your quad manually by yourself, and you don't have the 6G stabilizer to help you, so you are in fact the 6G stabilizer. So you need to keep on practicing until you are doing this subconsciously, and simulator is very important for you to learn that. And there's other things that I'm going to tell you in terms of the FPV Acro, and I'll do that in other videos because there's too much here now for you to absorb. So hope you guys like and subscribe to my channels for more videos. Until next time, cheers.